Good morning friends, welcome to Sharekhan pre-market roundup. Firstly in the global markets. Yesterday when we closed, most of the European markets were trading in red by around 2.5 to 3% across the board, whereas the American market futures, that is Dow Jones futures and Nasdaq futures, were indicating a negative opening for the American markets as well. Finally, by the end of the day, the European market closed down by around 3 to 4% across the board, whereas the American markets closed down by around 1.5% to 2% across the board. At one point of time, the US markets were down by around 2.5%, but from there we saw some recovery, and finally US markets closing down by around 1 to 2% across the board. Coming back to our markets yesterday, there was a lot of volatility in the first half of the markets, with Nifty swinging in red and green mark. At one point of time, Nifty was trading above 8,000 mark, but from there on a huge sell-off came in, and Nifty went down from 8,000 marks to around 7,775 levels. That is a correction of around 2.5% in an intraday move. And finally, Nifty managed to close at the lower levels itself, with Nifty closing at around below 7,800 mark on India futures and 7,812 mark on spot. Coming to FIs yesterday was seller around 1052 crore rupees in cash market, whereas FIs in index futures was seller around 697 crore rupees. So there was seller in both cash and index futures, whereas the domestic institutional investors were around 378 crore rupees in cash market. Asia as of now is trading in deep red, with Hang Seng being down by more than 500 points, which is around 2%, whereas the other markets are also following by trading in red. As for SGX code, which is right now putting at around 7715, 7720 levels, we can expect a negative opening for our markets by around 50 to 60 points for Nifty. Now let's hear on derivatives.
Good morning friends, we'll give analysis on derivatives. In yesterday's market, with positive cues from the international markets, our market also opened on a positive note, and as suggested yesterday, 8,000 was being a major resistance for our market. And in yesterday's trade also we have seen Nifty however opening around 8,000, 8,020 odd levels, but thereon we have seen a sharp decline and continuous selling pressure at higher levels, due to which we have seen Nifty continuously drawing downwards. However, in the last one hour, a couple of hours of trade, we have seen Nifty showing significant amount of selling pressure, and we have seen a late collapse in market, where we have also seen Nifty breaching all of its important supports, and eventually closed below the highest put base of 7,800 at 7797.10, with a sharp cut of around 2.5%. Now on the open interest terms, we have seen a significant amount of pile up of open interest, since we have closed below the highest put base of 7,800. So it was but obvious market participants would take short positions to hedge if they are short on 7,800 put option. So due to which we have seen 15.5% build up in open interest, that is around 41.19 lakh shares were added in open interest, which was quite huge, and also with rollover activity picking up with only 2 days left for the expiry, we have seen a sharp rise in open interest. Cost of carry has also decreased significantly from premium of around 2 odd points. Now it's a discount of 14 points, which is quite huge, and hence cost of carry have decreased from positive 4.5% to negative 34.5%, indicating majority of the position which was in build up in yesterday's trade was on the shorter side. Put call ratio have also decreased by 4 odd basis points from 0.99 to 0.95, and also with sharp cut we have seen in the last couple of hours of trade, or sharp fall which we have seen the last couple of hours of trade. We have seen volatility index have inched up by around 11% from 18.18 to 20.35 levels. Now on the options activity, most of the call option have seen heavy pile up of open interest. With only 2 days left for the expiry, we have seen 7,800 and 7,900 call option have seen a significant amount of build up, that is 42% and 18% respectively. By 8,000 call option, which is the highest call base, have seen an addition of around 4.5%. While if you see the put option, significant amount of unwinding was seen, as it was a surprise fall. We were anticipating 50-100 points downside, but since and not anticipating such a downfall of 200 points, and hence we have seen significant amount of unwinding. The put writers who have been forced to cover the short positions, and 7,900 and 8,000 strike price has seen a significant amount of unwinding of 37 and 29% respectively. However, 7,800 put option have seen a build up of 5%. So in today's trading session, since 7,800 is the highest in terms of open interest, and we are about to open on a negative note, taking negative cues from the international markets. And if we see continues and if we start seeing an unwinding in 7,800 put option, we may see a further downside could be triggered in the market in today's trading session. So activity of 7,800 put option would be quite crucial, and we do feel that unwinding would come, seeing the sharp fall in the international markets, and our market also suggesting that is HCX Nifty also suggesting to open on the lower side. So watch out for 7,800 put option for today's trading session. There are no securities in ban period for today's trade. On FIS terms and index futures, there were net sellers by around 697 odd crores. Some short build-up in yesterday's trade also. We have seen around 2,000 crores selling by FIS and index futures. In yesterday's trade also, we have seen net selling by around 697 crores. And index options, there were net buyers of 1,463 crores. While stock futures, there were net buyers of 1,248 crores. Surprisingly, they are covering the shorts in stock futures. That's interesting observation. In stock options, there were net sellers by around 115 odd crores. For our market level, our 5 days VWAP is same at 7,900, and the lower range at 7,500 and higher range at 7,900. SGX Nifty, as suggested, has been trading negative, and gap down opening can be expected in today's trade. It's down by around 60 odd points at 7713.50. That's it from derivatives. Thank you.
Now let's have a look at some of trading ideas for the day. The first idea being Tech Mahindra. The North American division of AAA Group and Tech Mahindra signs a strategic collaboration to benefit the aerospace community in North America to provide full end-to-end solution services to the aerospace and defense customers. Action to be taken in Tech Mahindra is long Tech Mahindra with a stop at 546.4 for a target of 574 and 585. Pidilite has given a statement that they are expecting to clock close to rupees 900 crore revenue this financial year from the construction chemical division. The division is witnessing a 25% CAGR. Action to be taken in Pidilite is long Pidilite with a stop at 541.7 for a target of 570 and 581. In some of the metal stocks, there will be some action to be seen today because China, the data for China which just came out in morning yesterday had said that September Caxin flash manufacturing PMI is at 47 against estimation of 47.5, which is at a March 2009 low levels. Negative for metals, action to be taken is short Tata Steel for a target of 213 and 209 with a stop at 224.4, and short Vedanta for a target of 89.5 and 87.7 with a stop at 94.15. So important news flow, the first one we have covered. The second is the Asian Development Bank has lowered India's growth forecast for the current fiscal to 7.4% from 7.8% estimated in March. Government has approved 1575 crore highway projects in Odisha under its flagship highway building program NHDP. CRISIL has downgraded outlook on Wales long-term bank loans. L&T's Halol Shamlalji Tollway has defaulted on rupees 1014 crore loan. MOC has issued notification of installation of net metering system of rooftop solar PV power units. This development could open opportunities for suppliers like Crompton Views. China's lead Eastern Europe has acquired 10% stake in Anil Ambani's Zapak for 98 crore rupees. TVS Capital has picked up 7.5% stake in Prabhat Dairy for rupees 85 crore. Standard Greases and Specialties has launched an open offer for Tidewater Oil Company to acquire 26% stake in Tidewater Oil Company for 16,600 rupees a share. MTech Auto Management has said that they are in talks with banks and financial institutions for realignment of debt obligations. Etihad is looking to buy bonds to help Jet Airways recast debt. On stocks with positive bias are Bharat Forge, Just Dial and IOC, and stocks with negative bias are Bharti Airtel, Larsen and Davies Lab. Stocks for investment are Aditya Birla Nuvo, Britannia, HDFC Bank, Infi and Maruti. That's all friends from our side. Thanks and have a nice session.